Schleuning from Zeiss. We're going to take a look at some of the new lenses that you guys introduced this year at NAB. The big news, of course, was the CP3s. So obviously, other than the number increment, what else can you tell us about the lenses?
So we had a great NAB. CP3s were a huge hit, but much better than we expected. We came in with really high expectations, and we came away winning 3 Best of Show awards at NAB, which is really nice. It's really nice. So as you say, CP3 is the 3rd generation of the compact primes. CP2, the lens that came before it, was our most successful cinema lens line Zeiss has ever done. We sold more of these lenses than all of our other lens families combined. Very successful. And I think that what resonated in the industry is that we introduced this at a time of change. Camera change was really picking up speed. We saw DSLRs coming in, shooting video, which was unheard of. We see Red came in, they kind of shook up the market, and everyone kind of reinvented the camera marketplace. And the message that's set out to the industry is that, well, cameras are changing. Right, that it was once very stable business back in the film days. Now cameras saw much faster evolution. Every 12 months, 18 months, there was something new coming out. So the message we had with CP2s was a safe investment, future-proof as much as we can. So we opted to go full frame, interchangeable lens mounts, a nice wide range of focal lengths. And that message, the market really took it home. So very successful product line. But it was time to make some changes. So the one thing we heard from the market with the CP2s was you can make them a little smaller, because cameras are getting a little smaller, and you can improve the focus, because the focus on the CP2s were a little on the stiff side. So mechanically, with the CP2s, we've gone from a 114 millimeter front to 95 millimeter, smaller, lighter, and across the lens line, the focus is ultra prime smooth, really buttery smooth. So we're still keeping a 300-degree focus rotation in a small, lightweight package that still is full frame coverage with interchangeable lens mounts.
And that's important too. The interchangeable lens mounts, like you mentioned, were huge because at the time it was unstable is the best way to put it. And we always said, just put an adapter on it. But then the idea of adapting your camera to the various lenses was sort of like passé, and then you introduced the idea, let's adapt the lenses to the various cameras. Even if it's the same job, you may be shooting Alexa as your A cam, but your B cam may very well be a 5D Mark II at the time. So the idea was certainly revolutionary. And then you mentioned full frame too, which I think was really interesting. The 18 millimeter out of all the lenses in the CP2 line was always the one that was not full frame. But that's different now, that's changed.
Yeah, it's, the 18 is a brand new lens optically from the ground up. And what a lot of people didn't know about the old 18 is that optically it covered full frame. But mechanically it was the front of the barrel that actually clipped the image, because the lens elements were recessed too deeply into the lens shroud. So it wouldn't cover full frame. But now the new 18 is a T2.9, so stop faster than the other lens, and covers full frame. So we have 10 lenses now as part of the family. The 15, 18, and 21 are T2.9s. The 25 through 135 are T2.1s. And we have 2 different families of CP3s. We have the standard CP3 and what we call CP3 XD. And I think the XD version is what kind of got the most buzz at NAB. You know, it's at this price point, we're introducing metadata really for the first time.
Right, so now you're using contacts on the lens itself to talk to a PL body, for example, right? But you also have the external 4-pin Hirose to be able to talk to other bodies as well. What's interesting to me, which I thought was really exciting, as someone that used to do a lot of lens shading, is that you are now from the factory calibrating these and shading them, and also correcting, you just mentioned, for geometry as well.
Exactly. And this, these corrections are applied based on the focus distance. So in the still photography world, correcting for distortion and vignetting is commonplace. They've been doing it for years, but this is basically a generic profile that's applied to a lens. We're actually able to do is apply those profile corrections based on the actual focus distance. So we're mapping a lens much more thoroughly than we are still photo lenses. And we're mapping them by, as a lot of people know, that our barrels are actually marked based on kind of the family, if you will. So there's a coding on the lens, if I can find it on here. And actually we'll provide the profile corrections based on that barrel series. So it's very accurate. In addition to kind of vignetting, we can correct for wide-angle lens distortion. So the nice thing there is that if you're shooting under an environment that's close quarters and you have to put a wide-angle lens on, you can basically get rid of the inherent kind of wide-angle distortion you'll see in a lens.
And obviously that all transmits via the mount. Mount is still interchangeable, which is a big deal.
Exactly.
I think we're really sort of at the cusp of the whole idea of metadata. Now I know that was a big trend, at least in my experience this year at NAB, was the idea of transferring that metadata from set, or even pre-production, all the way to final post-production, and how critical that was really, and that's sort of been the missing step, and it's just really based on someone taking really good notes. But now we have that sort of built in with these lenses.
Yeah, you know, at the basic level, metadata is going to be able to tell you the brand of lens, the focal length, the t-stop, and the focus distance. So notes, you don't need notes anymore. And right, if you're going to go back and reshoot that scene weeks or months later, you'll always know what lens. So you're not scratching your head wondering. If you're doing special effects, I think metadata is, I think at this price point, is still kind of a new concept. I think that's kind of a workflow that I think people who are using kind of this, I won't say entry level, but kind of medium level kind of equipment are maybe unfamiliar with. And so this is going to be part of an educational process that we'll undertake as a company to show the benefits of a metadata workflow and that. And I think that the lens corrections is unique. No one else in the industry is going to kind of take this. So when these lenses, the XD version starts shipping in September, we'll actually have post-process software that actually builds in our lens correction profiles.
So that means you'll be able to extrapolate that information using that software when it's out. Will you be able to add your own metadata, like maybe rental house information or any of that kind of stuff? Do you know? Or?
No, at this point, a kind of addressable metadata is not kind of in the plans. Yeah.
But still, nevertheless, the fact that you can pull that information out and bring it down the rest of the pipeline, I think is very interesting. Absolutely. So what else can you tell us about the lenses? I mean, we have a whole sort of collection, the whole entire family, including the 21-100, which is very exciting as well.
Yeah, and we're finally starting to ship this lens in quantities. It's been a kind of we started shipping in February, kind of little by little, and the last shipment from the factory is kind of healthy. So we got a nice quantity of lenses coming through. That lens has been really well received. Small, it's lightweight, and the image quality is really just phenomenal.
It's kind of the perfect focal length for many, especially like non-scripted work. I feel like everyone tells me it's like great, perfect focal length. Not too wide, just the right amount of punch for reach. So it's kind of good for all of that.
Right, exactly. And then on the table, we've got the full set of compact zooms, right? The 15 to 30, 28 to 80, 7200. We're super clean, no focus shift at all. Again, full frame interchangeable lens mounts. So that, we know that sensor size is going to continue to kind of creep and grow in the cinema world. You're covered with these lenses, no issues. And of course, not to leave these other lenses out, but we have our Milvus and Otis lenses, which if you're using an EF mount video camera, is really kind of a nice solution. And we coupled with our lens gears, which is kind of a two-piece compression fit, makes it really easy to take a lens that was made for still photo and use it for video. And the video features of this lens, and I think the quality are really well behaved. Our Otis lenses, rock solid at wide open aperture, no flare, no chromatic aberration, really beautiful. Long throws, really buttery smooth. And the Milvus line, since we've introduced the 3 additional focal lengths, the 15, 18, 135, we now have a set of 10 lenses. And you can mix and match, create your own lens bundles. So for guys looking for more of an affordable lens solution that kind of gives them a manual focus, great focus control, long throws and hard stops, it's a really nice solution.
So that's actually one of my favorite lenses. And I'm not just saying that because you're right here, but really the Otis is really fantastic, really beautiful. So Rich, thank you so much for doing a little walkthrough with us of what you guys introduced. Looking forward to really seeing the CP3s. The XD is, I'm a big dork, so to me that's really exciting as well. And I just love the fact that we're able to see this information, just bring it around, and really just, that helps us. More information is always better. So the metadata is key. So Rich, again, thank you so much.
Pleasure, thanks Jeff.
Thank you for the internet audience for watching. That's it for me for now. Take care, we'll see you next time.